Welcome one, welcome all to the Lowkey from the Boogie Down podcast episode one. I'm excited to start this. I finally got time off of work to finally do this, and I'm on here to speak up on some topics that I wrote down some notes on. Um, this will be an every week thing, at least once a week or every other week, and I'm pretty new to this, and it's something I wanted to do for a while. So the next episode will be every Friday, around noon or 3 o'clock, and so forth. But I'm excited to start this, and I'm willing to give you my thoughts on topics that I wrote down, very popular topics going around the world. And let's start off with the fire season in California. It's that time of year, and to be honest, I believe this fire season that's coming up is going to be a lot worse than last year. Right now, I'm currently located in Redding, California. I've been out here for a good 11 years, and I don't think I've ever experienced something like a wildfire of a magnitude from last year, like the car fire. Um, I remember it was literally like hell on earth. People were freaking out. People were running all over the place. The sky was red, and it was just crazy. I've never seen something like that. Being from the East Coast and being from New York City, I mean, the worst thing I've seen was 9/11. And I was only 11 years old, man. I was a kid, and it was just it was a day that it scared the hell out of me, like internally, and it was just I didn't know what to think of it. I thought I was gonna lose my house. I thought the whole town was gonna burn down, by the path of the fire and this and that. But luckily, Redding, California missed a bullet. But unfortunately, Paradise, California got hit and the whole town burned down last year. Now, my prediction for this year's fire season, I believe, like I said, is going to be a lot worse than last year. I hope, by the good graces of God, that no town gets taken out. That you know, hopefully people are aware. Hopefully people are prepared now more than ever, because what happened last year is kind of a wake call to everybody here in the state, as opposed to what's going to happen every summer. And it's crazy. I moved out here when I was 17, going on 18, and I never would have thought that I would have to worry about a fire. A massive wildfire, 100 feet wall of fire, and the way I could describe it when I saw it, it was literally like living in hell. Like Satan's playground or something like that, man. It feels like I'm living in Satan's playground when I'm living in California, because it's so prone to like earthquakes and tsunamis and wildfires and all these natural disasters. I mean, you got the Midwest, Tornado Alley. Tornadoes happen every year out there. Kansas, Missouri, all the way going down to Florida. It's a path that happens every year. Hurricanes as well. And I feel like this year is going to be something that everybody has to be aware of. Not only that, but just the preparation. You know what I mean? And recently read up on an article here in this town, here in Redding, where I'm living at. They were planning on shutting off the power for everybody if something big happened, if a big wildfire happened with the high winds and everything. But they rejected it thank God, because that would have been literally like the worst time. Let's say if a big fire hit here, whenever it could start anytime from today, from going on into August or September. But let's say if a big wildfire started, that means with this plan that they had going on, that they would shut all the power off for everybody, so everybody would be in the dark. And the fact that it gets so hot up here, I think it would have been a bad idea to accept that plan. And I'm glad they rejected it. So, like I said, my prediction for this fire season in this year in California is gonna be crazy. And I just hope that everyone stays alert and aware of what's going on, and just be safe. Because what happened last year, to be honest, it scared the hell out of me, and it's something that has to be brought to light, has to be brought to attention. Because now this is becoming a thing now. Like, oh, the summertime is here. Something crazy is gonna happen. A big wildfire is gonna happen, and it's just, you know, it's coming to a point where, like, I want to move back to New York City, man. Like, the only thing that I had to worry about in New York was the snow, torrential rain, which is not that bad. It rains out there every summertime. But the summertimes are brutal out there, just like here in California. California is dry. Well, up here in Northern California where I'm at, it's very dry. It's really not much humidity. There's humidity here and there, but it's mostly dry heat, and that's what sparks the wildfires. Um, Out there in New York, out there in the East Coast, especially going down to Florida, it's just really humid, and they don't really get wildfires out there. I mean, it does spark out there from in the Carolinas going down every once in a while, but nothing like the caliber that it gets out here in California. It's very scary to think about, and there's already officials saying that be prepared. That's gonna be it's gonna be a crazy year. It's gonna be a crazy summer, I would say. And am I prepared for it? Yeah. I already got stuff packed just in case. My emergency bag and this and that, my belongings and this and that. I would hate to lose my home to a fire, man. It's just crazy, man. It's just very scary to think about. But I wanted to touch base on this topic because it's something that people have to be aware of, and hopefully everyone's ready. That's living up here, well, especially up here in Northern California. So that being said, there's another popular topic coming up, and that's the Dominican Republic. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard about this. What's going on over there with the controversy behind what I believe tourists are being targeted with tainted liquor. Um, you got tourists going out there visiting the island maybe for the first time or going out there for vacation, and they're coming home sick. And there's a few people that died. They drank some liquor from the mini bar, and next thing you know, they fall dead. One of them had a heart attack. It was a man, a middle-aged man, had a heart attack. A couple of celebrities fell sick. I just recently read an article that said woman went on a plane leaving the resort in Punta Cana, and literally everyone on the plane was sick. And that's crazy. I don't know what's going on over there. It seems like there's someone or a group of people uh, behind this poisoning of American tourists, or not just American tourists, but tourists in general. And now the media is pretty much blasting the American public, calling it unsafe, and putting these travel advisory warnings. The FBI is over there left and right. I already called some of my family members out there to warn them of what's going on, and they know they're aware. And it's just crazy what's going on over there, man. To be honest, man, when I went over there to the Dominican Republic a few years ago, I had the time of my life. It was the best time of my life. I got to see my dad for the first time in many years. I got to see family members who I've never met, and it was a party over there every day, and it was so much fun. Liquor was very cheap out there. Um, the women, some of the most beautiful women you'll ever meet or you'll ever see, ever. And it was an overall fun experience when I was out there for those 3 months. But as far as that goes, The FBI is investigating, and I don't know what's gonna progress from that. But I could tell you, from my thoughts, I believe it's one or a few people that are behind this, and of course the FBI is investigating, so that's gonna be taken care of. So, like I said, from experience, from going over there, it was kind of scary at first because it is a third world country, and it's the Dominican Republic is mostly unsafe. It depends where you go. If you stay in the resorts and this and that, if you're going out there for vacation to go to a resort, go on a cruise, then you're fine. But if you go into those neighborhoods and those towns and this stuff like that, you don't know, you can find yourself in trouble. So, most of my family's from out there, and for this controversy to happen, it's crazy. I just recently heard about this. I haven't been paying attention to the news. Just now, I haven't been paying attention to the news. But I believe they'll find the culprit, whoever's behind this and this and that, whoever's poisoning. It seems like someone is poisoning the liquor in the mini bars and this and that. They're putting something because a lot of people, a few people died over this. So, um, solution will be found, and the culprits will be arrested. I'm pretty sure. But I just hate the fact that the media is putting a bad name to the Dominican public right now. Just because this is happening doesn't mean that the country is unsafe. You know what I mean? For the most part, before that, there was no issues. But now this is happening. Now the media is taking advantage, and they're making the Dominican public seem like it's just like a country like Brazil, or somewhere where it's really really unsafe. It's really bizarre, to be honest. But like I said, the culprits will be caught. The FBI is investigating, so I'm pretty sure they will get that handled. Moving on. Um, the NBA Finals, man. Toronto, Canada. Toronto Raptors just won the NBA championship. They beat a decrepit, very hurt Warriors team. You got KD, who got milked, literally milked for what was it? Like Game Five, I believe. Yeah, Game Five. He got milked up, and I knew when they put him in there, he was still hurt. They just put him in there. Hey, man, just give us what you got, man. Give us your talents and get us to Game Six. They pretty much did that, but he got re-aggravated whatever injury he had. I'm not sure what he had. I haven't been following up on him or anything. I'm not really in tune with the NBA like I am with Major League Baseball. But I was rooting for the Warriors to beat Toronto, but unfortunately Toronto won, and I believe that they deserved a championship. Toronto hasn't won a championship in years. And then you had the cheerleader Drake in a corner over there, like Spike Lee for the Knicks, cheering him on. Man, I couldn't stand that, man. I not a big fan of Drake, and at least he's happy. He got his championship. His city won a championship for the most part. News in Major League Baseball. I'm just gonna cover the Mets and the Yankees. First of all, the Mets, they're 4 games under 500. So my prediction for that team is they're probably gonna end up in a wild card. I could see them ending up in a wild card. They got a fucking huge bat in Pete Alonso, the rookie, man. He's like the Aaron Judge for the Mets right now, man. I think he has like 23, 24 home runs right now currently. And I know he's gonna enter the home run derby in the All Star break. And he's my favorite to win the home run derby this year. Um, to be honest, I think he should avoid it because every time somebody enters the home run derby, their swing is all fucked up, and they end up going in a slump. So my prediction for the Mets is they're gonna end up winning the wild card, maybe. I'm not sure. As far as the Yankees go, my team, they're doing okay. They just got back Giancarlo Stanton. Aaron Judge is gonna come back before the London trip. Um, this weekend, the Yankees are going over to London to face the Red Sox to introduce baseball and a rivalry over there in that side of overseas, which is great for baseball. It's gonna bring out bring more fans and this and that, and that's the right thing to do to bring the Yankees and the Red Sox over there. The Red Sox gonna be the host team, the Yankees gonna be the away team. So that's gonna be very interesting this week, especially with Aaron Judge coming back. That's really good news. So we got some upcoming films 2019. The only movie that I'm excited about is the Joker movie coming out on October 4th. Um, to be honest, I think this movie would do good, but I don't think it's gonna top Heath Ledger's performance. I don't think any other movie that pertains to the Joker is gonna top Heath Ledger's performance. But I could be wrong because this movie that's coming out hasn't came out, and what I've read in articles and what I've seen in a trailer and this and that, it looks like a promising good movie. We'll see though. Hopefully they don't fuck this up. I hope not. And as far as other movies that go, man, it seems like Hollywood doesn't really, they don't put effort on making like fresh new movies. It's mostly over the last 5 or 6 years the same rehashed bullshit with the movies. You got Shaft coming out, and that's a remake. Lion King, that's a remake. Child's Play, that's a remake. It Chapter Two, same shit. It's like I understand why they're doing this. It's for the newer generation to introduce the newer generation to these movies that us people that grew up in the 90s and the 80s, movies that we saw and they were great, and now they're gonna introduce them to this new audience and this new generation, the millennials. And I believe I don't think Shaft is gonna do good, to be honest. Lion King, it could be okay. Child's Play comes out this weekend, I believe. And I remember the first Child's Play when I first seen that. Man, that shit was brutal, and it was one of the most brutalest, gruesomest movies I've ever seen in my life. Especially seen at a young age, so I was traumatized. So as far as that goes, I strongly believe that Child's Play is gonna flop. I think it's gonna flop, but we'll see what the reviewers say, the critics, and this and that. Like I said, I could be wrong. I'm not gonna spend my money on seeing it because I already seen the first one. I'm not gonna spend my money on seeing a remake. I went and saw the only remake that I saw was the Halloween one, and I didn't really like it. So as far as Hollywood making all these remakes, I'm not with it. It's just they could come up with they got all these writers over there in Hollywood, and they could come up with something better. It's just crazy to think about. So I want to talk about the state of social media in 2019. I really don't have much to say because I already did a podcast on my Instagram a while ago about the state of social media and how things have changed from MySpace, even before MySpace, like AOL and AIM, MSN Messenger, and all that good stuff. But it seems like it's the same. You log on Facebook, it's mostly advertisements, memes, and you have to like filter out what you want to see and this and that. It's just a mess, you know what I mean? And I'm the type of person that doesn't like putting myself out there too much on social media. And then, of course, I'm gonna get criticism of saying, "Oh, well, you know, I haven't seen this guy post in a while, man. His life must be fucked up." And that's not the case, man. I don't know why people would say that. Your life doesn't have to be fucked up for you not to post on social media. I don't know where that narrative is coming from or that kind of standard is coming from, but that's not the case. I just don't like sharing my personal life like that. I like to be as private and low key as possible, you know. And I can tell you this: my life is going good. I just got a new job a couple weeks ago. I'm doing okay for myself, and that's all people have to know. I don't have to post pictures or of what I'm eating every day or what I'm where I'm gonna go because I just don't like putting myself on the internet. The internet is on some real shit. The internet is very evil, and people use it for and utilize that for the wrong reasons. And if you've seen the stuff that I've seen on the internet over the last few years, you'll be shocked. Stuff that I cannot share probably on YouTube. I'm talking about really crazy stuff. But I just wanted to go over these topics as I go. This is the first episode. The second episode will be more in depth. I just wanted to launch this episode to get it out there and give my thoughts on what's going on around the world. Like I said, the fire season is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be something out of this world, I believe. And all I can say is people got to be prepared. The Dominican Republic, the media is blasting it. I just hope the FBI finds whoever's behind this poisoning of these tourists. Of course, the media take, once a story pops up like this, the media blows it out of proportion every single time. And now they're labeling the Dominican Republic like a dangerous country. Oh, don't go there, or else you're gonna get poisoned. This and that. I got family from out there, and they're telling me it's just, one of my uncles told me that it's a group of people probably that's doing this. It's a group of people doing this, and look what happened to David Ortiz. David Ortiz, a baseball player who I grew up idolizing, even though he was a Red Sox player, and I'm a Yankees fan. I grew up idolizing David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez. I love those guys. Those guys, I idolized the hell out of those guys. I wanted to be like them. Those guys were great players. Even though they were on the other side of the fence, they were rivals, they were enemies to the Yankees. Especially David Ortiz. David Ortiz was a Yankees killer. But I admired him. I admired his work ethic, his style of play, and the stuff he did for the community out in Boston whenever that explosion happened in the Boston Marathon, that terrorist attack. I idolized him, and what happened in the Dominican Republic is crazy to know that he had an $8,000 hit on his head. So the guy had some complete shit aim and just aimed at his foot. I guess he was supposed to shoot him dead and completely foiled his plan. But for $8,000, that's crazy. A guy who's worth millions and millions of dollars, and this guy who's now in custody by the Dominican authorities is not going to probably serve the rest of his life in jail. And I don't think this guy wants to show his face in public over there because David Ortiz is admired. He's like a god over there in the Dominican Republic. And for him to do that, I think that he should be locked up forever. Because I mean, the man is loved over there, loved beyond belief. So in closing, the next podcast will be next Friday. I'll go more in depth. I'll go a little bit longer. Like I said, this is my first episode. I wanted to give this a try, and hopefully, people will listen to what I have to, my thoughts on these subjects that I just spoke about. The next podcast will be next Friday. I got some time off work, and my schedule wasn't right, so I really couldn't do it, especially on the weekend. So yeah. If you guys like what you hear, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, Lowkey Legend 718, and I will be back for episode 2 next Friday. I will be going in depth more into more politics, government, music, conspiracy theories, the whole 9 yards, more sports talk, and just following up on current events. This is Lowkey from the Boogie Down podcast. Thank you for listening. Hope you guys have a nice day. Signing out.